All right. Welcome, everybody, to this magical call. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I just want you to go ahead and put in the chat where you are joining from, because you're going to get to know each other a little bit, which is really fun. And today we're talking about the opportunities to serve in Dr. Naram. And I don't know if it's Sanskrit or Hindi, but it's called Seva. And Seva, I like it as a powerful word because it's almost like a connection with soul. I'm just gonna, what I'll do is real quick, I'm gonna mute everyone just for now, but I do want you to talk. But go ahead and just put in the chat. The secret of this is that you who have shown up on this call, according to what I feel and what I've seen in the past times, you're gonna get so much more out of the 100 days through this Seva experiences, through the opportunities to go deeper in learning through serving. And it was one of the most magical things. I don't know, Jana, if you're in a position to talk, but the first time that we did the 100-day experience and people had an opportunity to serve in this way, man, those were the people that got the most. In fact, one of the opportunities that we did have that we expanded in a way, Jane, I'm going to go ahead and make you a co-host as well. So if anyone is coming in, maybe you can just help. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'm going to miss it. Is there anyone else on this call that knows tech? Anyone else on this call that's good with Zoom? I don't know. I'm just going to see if anyone else has any experience with Zoom. Lori, a little
Lori.
bit? Fantastic. Lori, I'm going to make you a co-host. Jen, I'm going to make you a co-host.
Oh, look, I have a halo.
You always have a halo in my mind. Let's see here.
I have to agree with you as far as people who were in the service was amazing. They got so much more than, wow, just the regular people going through it. They really engaged more and they really understand the teachings deeper and deeper and deeper. It's wonderful. I think you guys are in a great position.
Yeah. The last time it was a little bit more complex. We had many different options in terms of scholarship. We had scholarship option 1 group, 2 group, 3 group. One of the groups was actually just learning how do you make the same amount of money or even more as whatever was the cost of the investment in this experience. And before the experience even started, some people had raised more than they ever expected. And there's some stories from that where that alone helped people face fear and ego and heal certain things inside of themselves. Now, I see some people on this call, like Katie, who just joined the Miracle Experiment experience focusing on abundance, where we took that to level 2. And so if anyone is interested in that particular kind of a experience as being a part of the scholarship, that is in addition. It's something that normally people would actually have to pay money to experience, but here in this, it's part of facing fear, part of facing ego, part of becoming unstoppable. And the things that you'll learn on that journey are very powerful. But today we're looking at specifically how to become involved on a service level with all the different kinds of activities happening. And it is so much fun and powerful. So I have with us at the beginning of the call today, actually, first of all, I just want to welcome Stephen. Yes. Anytime you're on a call, making me so happy. Fantastic.
Yeah, I just finished working up here at a friend's office in Watertown.
So good.
Good. So good.
We're joined with people from all over the world who are on scholarship or just want to serve. They want to become more involved. And any message, as you know, when you're thinking about Dr. Naram, when you first met him, he's like, okay, go sit over there. You're start right away. Sometimes you get thrown in doing something that maybe you're not so familiar with, but you learn in the process and you grow. Anything you want to share with people who are embarking in this Seva opportunities?
So my friend, Amy Jacobson, coined this word self-full. So giving from a cup runneth over rather than from what we don't have. So you need, as you serve others, to serve yourself, self-care, take care of yourself, and practice all these skills you're learning in the 100-day course on yourself. So, because when you get better, then you can share that energy with others. So self-full service.
Yeah, I love that. Also, this experience of even a scholarship is different from maybe in the past. It's not a requirement, expectation that you have to do it, or if you don't, you feel guilty. You're doing it from fear. You're doing it from shoulds. No, this is an experience to let love guide. And when you embark in volunteering or serving in any of the capacity, when you do it from that place of self-full, I love it. You know that the first person that you're helping benefit is yourself. Otherwise, you get burned out. Otherwise, you start to not come from love, and then that shows up in whatever is the activities that you're doing. So this is a good opportunity. I love it, Dr. Stephen, that you encourage everyone to make sure you're coming from, I'm coming from a place of service, from love, from wanting to be a part of it, not having to, not an obligation, not any should, but just the joy of doing it because you know that there's value in what you're doing on its own and because you're growing in the process. Now,
Yeah, it's like, I love to describe it like a well. So if you have a lot of water in your well, you worry all the time. You worry about washing dishes, taking a shower, flushing the toilet. But if your well is full, if you're well, then it's so easy to give water to the neighbors, put water on the plants, water the neighbors' plants. Like you just have so much to give from that full well. So you have to keep checking in with yourself that you're giving from that full place. And even if you could just give a little, that's a lot if it's from your runneth over. So it doesn't
yeah,
matter how much you give, but like you said, Dr. Clint, is like you don't want that regret afterwards.
yeah. The last time we did it where people, there's kind of a little bit of an expectation requirement of 5 hours a week or more. And then sometimes people could do it, sometimes they couldn't. If you couldn't, you felt guilt. If you did it, but I don't want that this time. I want that if for your entire scholarship you give 1 hour, but it's done with love, and then you participate fully in the course, that will make me happy. Whatever you do, practice doing it from that space of, I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you, and love will guide you. Who I just want to see a raise of hands, who that feels good to generally. Okay, good. And if anyone wants more structure, we have that as well, because sometimes just having structure and partners and community in which you're doing stuff, it benefits. But we're trying to do this with as much the standpoint of the energetics that I would love to see embodied in this 100 days and beyond in your life. So everything that we're planning, everything we're doing, the whole purpose is not about information, but transformation, and being a part of this now, this 100-day Seva team. I'm going to coin it the 100-day Seva team, is for me in my heart, one of the most powerful, useful, lovely things that you can do, and will deepen your experience exponentially in the whole course. So having said that, I still want you to put in the chat where you're joining from. So I just want to just see people from all over the world. And thank you for being here. Okay, so now really the first time the 100-day course was ever offered as a live experience, and now we're in most likely the last time it's offered as live. So the second time, but the first time, Jen, can you just describe what unfolded? You showed up as a scholarship participant in a way, or you offered to serve. And can you just describe the process for you? What happened? What unfolded? Because it was so unexpected. And then what resulted in something that we're going to launch on Valentine's Day? Love is the only truth. Can you just describe this process and what happened for you and how you grew through it?
Sorry.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I was part of the 100-day course, and I was also part of the volunteer or Seva team. And I had the honor to meet Denny and Jill, who are also here in the UK. I'm in the UK, England. And yeah, Denny had a lot of wisdom. So the community and Dr. Clint decided to help publishing a book that Denny was thinking of writing all her life. So yeah, and lots of volunteers helped to transcribe the videos and the interviews that Jill and Denny did. And Dr. Clint has just shown the book that is basically a preprint of the book. And yeah, the aim is to launch it on Valentine's Day. And the book is called Love is the Only Truth. And it's been an amazing project. So many things have happened personally for me as well, like lots of different things to go through emotions and healing. And yeah, it's been a wonderful project. And I'm so glad I am part of it.
Yeah, so this was an unexpected, none of us knew this was coming. Talk about a Titi Babawa. But this is Jill and Denny. Jill is on the left of and Denny's on the right. And the first meeting I had with them, I asked, "What do you want?" And it's a story, but basically she was having diarrhea for like 2 months. Nothing was working. And so first thing she's like, "I want to have a normal bowel movement." And with the home remedies, everything in the ancient secrets in 3 days, she just told the whole community, she's like, "I went to the loo and it was heaven." Anyway, it was just like, talk to how heavenly it was. But then when you get your health back, what do you do with your life? So I says, "What do you want now?" And she says, I want to, that my message gets in the world. This was her want. And she touched everyone's heart. We aren't doing this with everyone, but it followed the ancient secrets principles in this way. And yeah, also Katie knows this beautiful family and knows Denny. So the whole community got behind, we want to see her vision come to pass. We want to help. And so we do consultations, we recorded, and Jen was a master in coordinating all of this activity as a volunteer, transcribed them, got permission from people to use it, compiled it all, got it all ready into a form that was so close to being ready. And then after the 100-day course, it was about maybe 6 months after that or something like that. But anyway, within the same year, Denny's soul must have felt so much peace that she was ready to leave her body. She knew her mission had been completed, and we were a part of that. And it's continued, and we had a professional editor work on it in a way. And now Valentine's Day is when we're going to launch this in the world. And it's her story of being an orphan and being abused sexually, physically, mentally, in horrible ways, and being able to forgive those people and come to the place of seeing love as the only truth. And every lesson in life actually is your soul came here for. So there's nothing like an enemy or portray. I mean, she can speak from experience. And the fact that we contribute to this message that love is the only truth, which is quite, we hear something like that at the beginning of this book, let love guide you. So I wanted to acknowledge Jen as a volunteer. She took on this project and coordinated. How many other volunteers did you coordinate, and how many moving pieces, and did it in an amazing way? I don't know, it was dozens, and then kept it going in such a way. So now, because she did that with so much excellence, I said, "Jen, I want to work with you, please." And so now she's helping not only with the launch of this, but with so many of the other book projects that we have that came from the community that are just waiting for someone to put all the pieces together. And so Jen and Jaina and others are helping coordinate many of the volunteer activities, so that way what you're doing is making impact and you can be guided in that way. And I just want to say thank you. So let's put our hands together for Jen and give her so much love. It was really I want to say how touching it was when I went over to England for they didn't call it a funeral, a celebration of life. And Jen and her partner drove down, and in the window of their car, do you remember what was written in the window? Can you tell everyone? I have pictures, but not easily accessible.
Yeah, we put the love is the only truth little banners in the windows.
Yeah. It had in the window of their car, "Love is the only truth." And they drive up, and then at the celebration of life, how many people were from the 100-day experience? Maybe 8, 9, 10 of us from all over England came. And I was giving out the certificates for the 100-day course to these people. And when I had the certificate for Denny, and I got to give it to her daughter, Claire, on behalf of her, I said, she truly graduated from this life with honors. And in her final course was Ancient Secrets, 100 days. And her final course was completing her work, and she completed with honors. And so in behalf of that, when this book is sold, it goes to support orphan kids like she was, but giving them a better chance at life. And then also Claire's project, Tree Sisters, goes to help plant trees. And there all this support and love generated in the space of Seva. So thank you, Jen. Thank you, everyone who was a
Thank
part of
you.
that. And I'm so excited for Valentine's Day, the day of love, to launch this book and anchor in our hearts that this is like Dr. Stevens said, coming from a place of loving ourselves as a starting point. And that's what this is all about. It's not looking outside, but looking inside and trusting. Atiti Devobawa. She didn't use those words exactly, but trusting that the unexpected guest is. And then Jen, I don't know if it's too personal. I don't have to share, but just what has happened to you recently or what happened in your life recently, but just that you keep showing up and that you're here again is such a gift to all of us. She's an answer to my prayer. And also this whole experience is an answer to prayer. So thank you.
My eyes look a bit swollen and
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm trying.
Good news. One of my most awesome people in the world showed up. You want to come say hi to these people? This is Clayton.
Hey, Clayton.
Yeah, these guys are really fun. This is Clayton and George. When I was gone for a couple months, they're the ones who I gave a big hug to, and we're jumping up and down and all excited. And I hugged Clayton. I'm like, I missed you so much. He says, I missed you. And then George, I hugged him. I says, I miss you. And he paused. He looked up. He's like, I forgot you even existed. You remember that? Anyway, it's good that what we do, it can do it with love and also playfulness. And I'm glad you guys are here. Okay, Jen, thank you so much. Do you want to share anything else about your personal life, or because we're here in a space to love you. So as you wish.
Next time.
Okay, no problem.
Thank
Love you.
Thank you. Thanks for holding the space for me.
All right.
And thanks for your love.
We definitely love you. So having said that, I feel like everyone who's on this call, when I'm looking at your faces, or if you're not on camera, your names, you so much come from love. You're in the right place. So cool that you're here. And we have an unlimited opportunity to make an impact on this planet when we come from this vibration. And there's unlimited opportunities to serve. And you may come up with better ideas than we've come up with, So it's letting love guide you. You may say, you know what? They didn't think about this yet. This happened for Andrea. You guys know Andrea for Humanity that comes up on the screen. She had an impression that she should create an index for the book. Now, it's not the most exciting thing in the world to create an index, but she did it with so much love. And she felt Dr. Ram guide her, say, you missed something on this page. And she found a word and she thought, whoa, what if that one word in the index pulls someone in so the deep healing happens? She felt Dr. Ram's voice and guidance with her in the whole process and did it with so much love that that's going to be launched this year. And then it can be in many languages and it's an easy reference. You see her on the Sunday calls. She's typing in, oh, we're talking about blood pressure. These pages, the material moved through her as she moved through it. And now it's a part of her. It's so beautiful. And who would have thought indexing? I didn't ask anyone to do it. She said, this is something that needs to be done. And it's true. It did need to be done. She did it without even asking. Now, in this particular case, you can ask to see if someone else is doing it. You can collaborate. I want to give one more example. I know she's not on camera right now. Jaina. Now, Jaina filled out the original, it's called the Miracle Dream Team. It's his original application to be a part of the whole experience. And she put on it, I don't feel comfortable being a leader, but I kind of feel like there's a calling to, but I don't feel comfortable. And so then I was like, oh, for sure you're going to be a leader. She's the first person. And I gave her assignment over, Jaina, you remember what it was? I don't know if she can talk now or not.
Data entry.
Data entry. So sexy. Data entry. Ooh, that's so sizzly, right? I had all these forms, just papers where people, for the 10 years of traveling with Dr. Ram, people would give a photo video release and their stories were amazing. And it didn't feel right to launch the book without letting all of these people know that the book was being launched. So there was literally thousands of papers that we scanned as PDFs that someone had to sit down in front of a computer and type in the name, type in their email. Now, she turned it into something where everyone learned the value of giving 100%. They felt magic. In fact, one of the most beautiful stories is Vanda. She's the one that also ended up translating the book into Romanian. She said every time she read a story of, this person came to the clinic in a wheelchair, ended up walking. Oh, this person had autism. Now they don't. Oh, this person every time she typed in their information, she said a prayer of thank you for that person and a blessing on them wherever they are in the world. Talk about taking a task that is so mundane and infusing it with love, letting love guide. Man, Jaina and that whole team inspired me so much. And then from that, Jaina became involved in more and more and more until now she leads Sunday calls and does so many things with so much love. And I just wanted to give that example because it doesn't actually matter what you do in a way. It matters how you do it. So what Dr. Stephen said at the beginning of the call was so apropos, so valuable and so important. Okay. I just want to open it for a little bit. Anyone want to share anything like love taught you already on the call? And then we'll go into specific tasks that you can volunteer for, and we'll give you a way that you can volunteer for them. I don't know why I feel called to Miriam Stuckman. You have anything love taught you so far on this call?
Oh, thank you so much for having me here and for this wonderful opportunity to have this journey. So what can I say? No, in a sense, there's such a big, my heart is softening and opening while being with you and the wonderful community. And, you know, I grew up as an adoptive child. And when I was 21, I searched and I found my mom and later my dad. My dad was also a medicine man, a healer from Indonesia, but he came to Germany in order to work and to live here and to gift us with this beautiful presence. And he was the one, I met him when I was 28. And I guess it was a second visit from him. And he gifted me with the knowledge from Dr. Naram's presence in this world. So at that time, it meant something to me, but not too much. I was so focused on meeting my dad and stepping into his world. But later it dropped so sweet and soft into my world year after year. And he reminds me, please, would you like to know a little bit more about this work? And then my dad teach me some specific mama points. And I'm not quite sure if you knew him. My dad was Dr. Joseph Hindayoni Jimyadi from Augsburg, but you know, and last year he committed suicide. And so this was something that touched me really deeply. And this was a specific time. I was so great. I had so much gratitude for being with him for at least, I guess, 18, 20 years. And then I was reminded that there's another way to maybe open up by reading your book and to allow love to come in and to heal my heart and even to support me and my sweet children. I have 4 children to go through these specific times and to really ask questions. What can I bring to this world? How can I be of service? And so I'm here now with you all, and I have no clue.
I'm so happy you're here, Miriam. Can we give Miriam a bunch of love?
Thank you so much.
Put our hands together. Actually, I'm going to put you on spotlight so that way everyone can see you. Rub our hands together. We love you and we're with you. There's no accident that you're here, and it applies to everyone here on this call. In fact, it's so fun. I didn't realize, Andrea, you were here. But Andrea, do you want to share anything about that experience about creating the index? She's also the one who's leading the charge for the first ever live summit where the Ancient Secrets community is going to gather live for the first time. Some of us have never met each other, get to give hugs. And it's all based on letting love guide, looking at how love has guided us with all the translations. I know that I've showed it in the past, but like even it's like so humbling. All the love that went into all these languages, all the love that, look, these were created by someone with love. This picture of Dr. Naram that was auctioned off to raise money for the orphan kids. And even the portrait she did of me that was given with love to the orphan home. And You may have talents with art, you may have talents with music, you may have talents with whatever. And when we come to that unstoppable event, it's a chance for us to celebrate. How did love guide us? And where do we go from here? And so, Andrea, first of all, your experience with the index, and then is there any particular things that people can help with in preparation for the summit? Like those two things. I don't know if you're in a place you can talk, but. Okay. It could be that she's in a place she can't talk. I want to see real quick, Miriam, who's this little guy with you? Oh, you may have to unmute yourself.
It's my youngest daughter, by the way. This is Sophia. So
Hey, Sophia. Wow. What's her first language?
And this is Clint and community here.
Sophia. Hello, hello. Wow. Good to see you. I'm so glad you're
Sophia, 7 years old, and yeah.
Sophia, which language is your first language?
Was ist deine erste Sprache?
Deutsch?
Deutsch, ja.
Deutsch in Arbeiten?
Deutsch.
Deutsch.
Oder?
Wow. Wie geht's?
Okay, she is telling me, yeah, it's Deutsch, but she wants to learn English. And I guess our first language for all of us is energy, right? So
yeah. That's very good. Your first language is love, Sophia. It's beautiful. All right, thank you so much, Miriam. Andrea, if you're not in a position to talk, I totally understand. I'm glad that you're here. We'll go through some other things. So now what kind of projects are available? Now, again, love may guide you to something that we aren't even thinking of, but I'm going to share with you so many things that are possible, and you can let it start to simmer in your mind and your heart. We're not asking for any particular commitments on this call. We'll create actually a Google form that will send to everyone. Oh, you know what would be really helpful? Just so it's all in one place really easy. Can you put your email address in the chat? The best email address, because then we can make sure we send it to everyone here. That's on this call. And if you're watching this as a recording, then make sure you send your email address. Jana, is it okay if they send it to you, or actually team@myancientsecrets.com may be a little bit better. So fantastic.
Either way, it's fine with me.
Okay, so we'll make sure you send it to team@myancientsecrets.com, just saying, I want to serve. What can I do? And we'll send you the form where you click, and then based on which projects you say that you're interested in, we'll have special calls in which you'll get set up and you can just begin the whole journey. And if you have some new ideas, we'll have a blank on the form, which is just, you can type in whatever you want to do, whatever love guides you to do. Like for some people, they're like, I don't think they say, okay, I love the children's book. I don't think it's translated in my language. That's what I want to do. I want to translate the book into German, because then Sophia can have it and read it in German or whatever it is. Many, many ideas. You can say, I know this famous podcaster that I'm friends with, and it would be really good if this story was on this thing. Cool. That's awesome. So we're going to go through a bunch of ideas. It's a brainstorming, and just settle in your heart. No need to feel any pressure, but see what you naturally feel drawn to. And I would say also pay attention to if you get scared because it's outside of your comfort zone, that's also a very good thing to do. And then also if you have some judgment, like, oh, I definitely would not want to do that. That is also a secret key, because then you learn how to do things like data entry with love. You realize every moment is holy, especially when in service. So, okay, make sure you put your emails. I'm going to go through these options and then we'll look at them together. Let me see where did my notepad go? Oh man. Okay, here we go. So these are a bunch of beautiful opportunities, scholarship help areas, and areas to serve. So there's something called the Story Angels. Dr. Ram was very big on stories, and on every call, Sunday call, Saturday call, any of the bonus calls, almost always there's amazing stories. Like Miriam just shared a beautiful story. Jen, we've just been sharing, basically what we're doing is sharing stories. And all those stories we want to transcribe so we can use them in books, so we can use them for social media, so we can use them in all kinds of different ways. The Story Angels is led by Sharmini, I believe, who lives in Malaysia, and they have meetings once a week. And it's awesome. You can be a part of that project. It's fun. Like, we love stories. And to be a part of helping with making sure we collect, transcribe them. And then Kyle wants to take those videos and make sure we have little nuggets. Maybe not everyone's going to watch a 1 hour Sunday call, but they'll see a little clip. Who was on last Sunday's call, first of all? Sunday's call where you heard Marcel, you heard Ryan share his story, you heard Jacob share his story, you heard Renara share her story and then play the music. So maybe not everyone's going to watch that whole call, but they'll see, oh, Ancient Secrets for Psoriasis. They'll watch that one clip and that clip will change their life. So it's making sure we have those little clips and then they can be used in all number of ways. That's the Story Angels. Okay, let me go through this. I may have to do it a little bit faster than I've been doing it because I'm looking at the time and I want to make sure I respect everyone's time. Okay. So Story Angels, then the Welcome Angels. This is so important. Sometimes people come in for the first time and do they feel welcome? Do they even know what's happening? And when they have a question, who can they ask? You know, and it's not just when they come on a Zoom call, but when they're typing in comments or questions on Facebook, we need someone who's there just can respond with love and point them to the right FAQ or answer the question or just acknowledge that they're there. It makes a really big difference, these Story Angels and social media angels. Translation angels. There's so many translation projects, not just the book, but the bonus videos. There's an audio book already done in 2 languages, almost done in the third language. There's the kids book. There's the diet recommendations. There's so many things. There's the TEDx talk. So if you have some translation skill or want to, that's there. Writing angels, man, there's so many book projects and we'll go through in a little bit, but if you have any desire, you're good at editing, you're good at writing, that's there. PR angels, you're good at, you want to explore, what is it like to connect with TV stations, radio stations, influencers, social media influencers, you know, magazines, fundraising angels. So, you know, we have this goal to create an endowment so that way from the interest alone, the orphan kids are taken care of indefinitely. And so for that, we have like the music project that you've heard of on some of the calls, the art project, and then want some people to contact corporate sponsors or other foundations. And it's a beautiful thing. When you do this, it will be a contribution indefinitely for the rest of time. Brainstorming angels, those, you know, sometimes people we can call in to brainstorm, and then there's a medical research team where they're writing articles. So the stories from the Story Angels, sometimes we have all the medical data. Perfect. It can go in a medical research journal. And when we collect enough of them, we have a lot of evidence. And so there's a woman in the name by the name of Dr. Maria. She's a retired doctor. She was in the first 100-day course. She says, now I want to dedicate so much of my life to this. And so it doesn't matter if you're a doctor or nurse, if you are, fantastic, but you just have to have a willingness to learn and take some of these stories and help get the medical reports before and after. And then you can be on that team of helping convince the Western world that this is real, something like that, which is a really powerful, beautiful thing. Now, I'm going to go through some specific tasks that are very helpful. You know, Jaina, I'm just feeling into it. I want to just call this team the Seva Angels. I don't know if you're in a position to, Jaina, but can we create a WhatsApp group specifically for the Seva Angels that right now we can invite everyone to join? If you have time.
Absolutely.
Because then it makes it easy, because sometimes there's tasks we just need in a moment. If we can type Seva Angels and say, hey, we need some help with blank, then instantly you could say, I'm free, I'm available, I'm willing. And then we could take care of things in a quicker way. But I'm going to give you some examples of specific tasks that would be so helpful. And then Andrea, if you have any others, Jaina, you have any others, Jen, if you have any others you want to add on. So one of them is on different Facebook pages. We have the Facebook group, Sunday calls, Dr. Clint Facebook page. We have a page for the book, Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer book. We have a page for the foundation. There's a YouTube account, and all the time people are leaving comments on all these pages. And so maybe you would just love to acknowledge them. And if they have a question or comment, you just lead them to where is the answer. They say, how can I book an appointment? You connect them with that specific link, and we have a whole FAQ section. So you don't have to know in advance. You just have to be willing to be a helpful, loving person. We want to get books. You know, people have donated book scholarships to get books into prisons, schools, and libraries. Andrea, again, man, she's such an example. There's a women's correctional facility. In the very first one, they requested something like 24 books. And how cool if not only we give the books to these ones, but we have people from the community write inscriptions about something loving to whoever's in the prison, you know, or helping get it into libraries, or helping get it into schools, or even helping, now we have the kids book, helping get the kids book into schools and finding corporate donors, that can there's all kinds of possibilities, unlimited possibilities. Let me go back to the list. Now, I will say this. If as I'm going through any of these, one really lights you up, I want you to go ahead and put in the chat, I want to help with blank. Even if love is telling you something that's not on the list, but all of a sudden in the space that we've created of love, you say, I want to help with this. I just say, go ahead and put it in the chat. And you don't have to only pick one thing. It could be many things. But then that helps us give an idea. So when we go back through the chat, we can know what to ask you. We are going to create a Google form where you have an opportunity to express it that way too, but also it helps. Then we have the regional calls. In addition to the Sunday Global Healing Miracle Call, every week we have an Asia Pacific call on Friday at a certain time that's better for that area of the world. We have an Africa call. We have a European call. And on all these calls, there's all kinds of ways to serve. The Unstoppable Celebration, the Sedona event, there's an organizational committee that's helping put that together. Carol Ray had this idea for regional book clubs. It can even be in a regional language, but it just gives a chance where people, sometimes the community is so spread out, you want to know who's your next door neighbor. You'd be surprised who's coming on the Sunday call. Like this happened for Roma Rishi. He went into the breakout room, found out that someone on the Sunday call was living like less than an hour drive. Jimbo, when Roma Rishi needed to go to the hospital, Jimbo ended up driving him to the hospital. So it just helps knowing who's in your area. It's really beautiful. And so sometimes you could just say, I want to organize a regional, whatever it is. That's how the Asia Pacific call came. I didn't come up with that idea. And, Carol Ray lived in Japan and she knew that most of the calls for us are way bad timing for them. So she just wanted to make it possible for the Miracle Experiment experience to be had in their own time zone. She came up with love and it just continued going for the last 3 years. It was such a good idea. So if you want to do something in your regional area, that's a possibility. It can be on a small scale. It could be in your neighborhood. It could be with your own book club if you're a part of a book club. Art project. So we've already have inside of Ancient Secrets Foundation, so many cool things where this was led by Sarabjit. Am I correct on that? And Sarabjit, I'm going to open it up where you just see all the work they did. It's so cool. Where they just donated their artwork that has some theme that's related to Ancient Secrets. Mariam was on so many people were on this who are talented. Judy Lamar. And I'm just going to share my screen so you can see this. Hopefully my computer goes a little fast. So first of all, ancientsecretsfoundation.org. Another thing we need someone for is on the news clip, we have no one that's filling in these stories, but we have so much good news that's happening all the time. So if someone can volunteer right now, I would love it, that can just capture the stories. Like we just had a call for the homeless, that they can be responsible for saying, okay, we're going to make sure there's a post about the homeless call. We give updates about the orphans, I just want someone who can own that space. So there's regular news stories happen. Now, if you go to shop, you can see art project. You can see fundraisers, music project, and other virtual events. But for the art project, you can see, look, people have created all this artwork that's now on t-shirts and mugs and tote bags and aprons, and it's just really fun. Also masks. So you can be part of the art project if you have that talent. But also we need to figure out how to promote it. So even if you're not good at art, but you're good at promotion, okay, cool, I'll help share this. And then other than the cost of producing it, 100% goes to the foundation, which helps support the orphan kids, the animals, and all those projects. Okay, I'm going back to the main list now. We're really cooking. It's amazing. First of all, I'm going to stop sharing just so I can look at you. Almost all of these ideas just came from people in the community. It wasn't my idea. I'm not smart enough for most of this stuff, and I wouldn't have thought of it. I wouldn't have thought, okay, let's get a bunch of musicians. Maybe I would have thought of this one, but I don't know. There's so much of it that I just came from love, inspiring someone. And as a result, now so many people are being blessed. And what I love is when it comes from that motivation, just the act of doing it is a gift. It changes us. And in the process, you learn so much. Every translator who's worked on the translation of the book in all the languages have been blessed. And so many have shared with me miracle stories that came because as they were translating, the words went through them in new ways. And countless people will be blessed. I was there in the room. I'm just going to share this story. I'm getting emotional more than I was expecting on this particular call. But this book here, first of all, the Russian book you heard for Renara. Now she went back to her hometown she hasn't been to in so long just to heal things inside of her because the translation was ready and brought that to that place. I was in the room when Jenny, the one who translated the book into Dutch, met for the first time someone she didn't know. Someone who read the book in Dutch and talked about how much it changed her life. And Jenny was in tears because that was what she wanted. And how many people's lives are going to be blessed you don't even know, you've never even met, simply because you said, yes, I want to serve with love. And so there's many languages of the book that we still need help with. And so we can give you that whole list of all the languages. And even if it's been translated in a language, we need the bonus videos done and so many other materials. Actually, one of the most powerful things some of you could do if you speak a language is everything we're doing for the 100-day experience now, we want to create it so it's translated in many languages. So we have one person, she's already started translating the first call in Italian. She's already started. It's just amazing. So if you want to help translate the 100-day training calls into your own language, what a powerful way to learn the material and then bless people indefinitely. It's so cool. If you feel inspired to do that, you can have such a powerful impact on literally countless people. Our project, music project, then this is a simple one, but every Sunday, we want someone who's one of the story angel just to be listening closely and then identify what are the best 1 to 3 stories that then we can send with approximate timestamps to Kyle, and that Kyle can then pull those videos out. So your whole job is just listening to what stories touch your heart and then saying, okay, this is the best story from the call, second, third, like this. We already talked about translating the kids' book, the bonus videos, my TEDx talk, and the 100-day experience itself. Transcribing. We need a couple more people to help transcribe, and there's a program that makes it so much easier, but still going through, listening, and making sure that program did it correctly. And we have so many random projects that come up where we need some help transcribing. Contacting corporations about sponsorships to the Ancient Secrets Foundation to help create the endowment. Contacting media influencers about ancient secret story ideas. Helping write medical research articles, and then the cookbook launch. The cookbook will be launched. Carol and I, we finally set a date. It's going to be launched on March 8th. It's significant because it's not only my birthday, but it was the day Carol Ray had a dream. She's about to retire. She was in a big corporate position, about to retire, just go get a trailer house and live in her trailer away from society for whatever. Then on March 8th, she had a dream. In the dream, she heard the words, heal yourself and heal the world. And then she got an email from her friend, Sarah Morell, that said, hey, there's this thing called the Global Healing Miracle Experiment, and the subtitle is Heal Yourself, Heal the World. And since then, she's been involved in so many volunteer capacities. One of the work is the community contributed recipes. I just want to see a raise of hands, anyone that contributed recipes or in some way. I know, Katie, you helped in so many ways. So not only the book is completed, but we're creating a website where it's a recipe sharing website. So anyone that comes into this, you don't only have to eat mung soup all the time. There's other options. And so you can help. You can contribute recipes. You can make videos of the existing recipes. You can test the recipes. You can rank the recipes. You can suggest other recipes. And if you have some skill with the website, you can help us create the website, the recipe sharing website. So there's all kinds of ways that you can help with that. But the whole book is an example of love guiding the community. Carol Ray having the idea. In fact, I know she's on the call right now, so hope I'm not putting you on the spot, Heidi Woods. But the beautiful thing was actually on the wedding of Heidi and Aaron was when we launched this cookbook as well. It was given to every single guest that came to the wedding, in addition to giving them this and other things and a mung soup kit. And it's so beautiful. I don't know if Marissa is on this call. Oh, she's on the call too. It makes me so happy. Marissa, yay. She printed it off. And when I went to do the clinic in North Dakota, it was there. I don't know if you can walk and show us there, but it's so fun. And then you have more capacity. You don't have to anyway. We're just beautiful seeing you. But now it's the updated version. That was, 1.0. Now, by now, it's like 6.0 or something, and then making it interactive where people can always be involved this way. It's just fun. Putting love into food and then sharing your recipes. Even you can invent new recipes and test them out and share with the community. Anything you want to say about that, Marissa? I don't know if you have any, or Heidi?
About the cookbook?
Yeah, cookbook or any of the projects so far?
Oh my goodness. Everything sounds amazing. I know I want to be a part of something, so I'm feeling it all out here in this call, which is beautiful. But going back to that cookbook, I was just starting the 30-day detox. It was after Heidi's wedding, and I went through that thing. It was one of the most important things in my kitchen. And what it did for me is it made me make my kitchen into something I could work with. It allowed me to do that, and I have not stopped since then. My kitchen is my favorite place to be. The Ayurvedic recipes are absolutely amazing, and I've come up with a couple of my very own that tie into it also. So it's just so much fun.
Yeah, I want to say this. She invented a recipe, and then when my mom was doing the detox, one of the recipes my mom went to for help was Marissa. And now we eat it all the time. We love it. However you made it, that's our recipe we use. We didn't use it from anyone else. We use your recipe.
Is it the stewed apples?
Yeah, the stewed apples, and we put it in mung crepes.
Oh, they're heaven.
The other thing that's amazing is when you give, you never know when it's going to come back. And when my mom, the first time she made ghee, I hope I saved this picture, but it looked horrible. It was like the wrong color. And it still tasted good, but it was, and so the person she reached out to ask for help on that was Katie. And Katie helped her because she had learned how to do that thing. And so one of the service opportunities as Welcome Angels is sometimes people are making mung soup for the first time or ghee for the first time. Maybe you can just walk them through it. You can say, I'm willing to be a friend, a BFF. I can help walk people through those first steps of booking a consultation and how do you get the herbs and what does these things even mean? And, that's a really powerful thing to do. Heidi, anything you want to share?
I'll just add with the mung bean soup kits, we weren't sure how many we should order. And so we got 2 cases and we ended up having 12 or 13 left over after the wedding. And so at the time, Iran had a home health nurse coming. He just had something on his ankle that, needed weekly attention. And the nurse, we got to know her. She was from Jamaica, so sweet and beautiful. And she was saying how she's at home raising her granddaughter and also caring for her mother. And she said, I got to go home and make dinner. And I said, hold on. And I grabbed the mung bean soup kit and I gave it to her. And she said, oh, I don't know. My mom has diabetes. I said, then she should eat this. Give it to her. She came back the following week and said her mom's numbers had dropped. And it's just anybody who would come over and do work at the house. We had to have some construction project done in one of the bedrooms. We gave a mung bean soup kit to one of the workers that came over, and he's like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. My wife has been having health issues. So it's like these people that will never really know how we touch them, just keep showing up, keep like being that ripple of love, even though it was intended for a wedding guest. It's like the Titi Devo Baba. They're guests in our home now, so we want to gift them with this mung kit.
I love it. And then I just walked in the kitchen, but Katie, look at how beautiful this ghee is that my mom just made. She's giving you a big clap. Yeah, there's everyone.
Yay!
I just got something in the mail today for you.
Oh, you put it in.
You did.
I just got it in the mail for you.
Oh, hooray!
It's the history of Walter Barney.
Oh my goodness.
I got it
You
from
are
the Daughters of the
amazing.
Utah Pioneers, so I'll be sending it to you.
That's very good.
Thank you.
My mom, she always gives gifts of beans and books. Someone's sick or someone has some challenge. She has a mung soup kit before the, Arya created, and gives them a book and a mung soup kit, sometimes the immunity kit as well. So all kinds of ways you can serve. So thank you both, Heidi. That's such a cool story about your home health nurse. And Katie, it's like, honestly, like you're already doing this and we're just organizing and channeling it for that much more fun and enjoyment, where we can share. Heidi, speaking of which, also has a gift that she didn't maybe expressed before until she co-hosted one of the Sunday calls, and her and Aaron co-hosted the call. And then she did a kind of a guided meditation while Gary Malkin put the music behind, and it was so beautiful. So this Sunday, we're going to either feature the similar one or a new one. And it's a gift in which he's serving with love. And so maybe you have a musical gift you want to share on one of the Sunday calls, or you just discovering something new. But was it outside your comfort zone, Heidi, the first time you did that? I don't know. It seemed like you.
I've taught a lot of meditation in the prisons and in schools, just working as a therapist. So I was comfortable leading that. But it was different when I knew it was Gary's music in the background and the Ancient Secrets community, and I hadn't done it for a while. So I noticed my voice was shaking a little bit, but I thought, I'm just here to love, and I'm here to show people how to love themselves, turn that back on themselves. We give so much to others. And at the end, where I had the chair turn into a mirror and they saw their own reflection and, saw the beauty and the light that they were, it's like, that's the easy work, just to love people and help them kind of learn how to love on themselves more. There's nothing to be afraid of.
So beautiful. Thank you, Heidi. So don't miss Sunday's inspiration call. So powerful.
Yay. Thanks for having me too. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and then both Heidi and Marissa and others, they had an idea, why don't we help create more resources for kids and for adolescents and really create a structure so that way young people can benefit from the Ancient Secrets. And so there's all kinds of opportunities with that and other possibilities. Then Heidi also, I mean, this is a crazy thing that we haven't done so well, but people have donated to the foundation. It's like appreciation angels, just saying thank you, writing a thank you card and saying thank you for what you've done. It's making this much difference. We're going to have a call specifically for just, even I want to call up people personally. It's how fun is that? Call up people.
Yeah.
Hey, you donated $5. I want to tell you a story about one of the orphan kids that it's helped. You just get to share the joy. So the Appreciation Angels, we have lots of possibilities like that. And Heidi's going to be a big part of that as well. So thank you, Heidi. So grateful for you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. And then I'm just going to go through the rest of this list in pretty fast order, just so you get some more ideas. Actually, I want to say co-hosting Sunday calls, musical guests, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then there's a pets book, Ancient Secrets for Animals and Pets. Either you have some ideas of remedies and recipes and diets that have come from Ancient Secrets, or are you willing to experiment? Then there's other things. We have the homeless, the whole project where people are meeting regularly, discussing how they can help homeless in their own area. If you're good at editing, you're good at writing, good at graphic design, if you're good at tech and you'd be willing to help be a tech angel in the Zoom rooms, if you can help with the newsletter, Linda Rousseau is another great example. I'm just going to share this, or volunteering. I'm going to be doing in this upcoming newsletter, we're announcing the Pulse clinics I'm going to be doing with Giovanni in some places and sometimes by myself in so many places. Romania and Switzerland and Netherlands and Australia and Hawaii and New Zealand and so many places. If during the 100 days or beyond, you want to come and just serve in that space, you say, I'm going to make the mung soup. I'm going to put so much love into it. I'm going to make it so delicious. And it's so beautiful. When we did the clinic, I'm going to spotlight Katie one more time, but we did the clinic in Sacramento. This was one where my mom flew in for. And so when my mom and Katie's husband, John, were making the mung soup for the people who were coming with so much love, he's like, I can be a sous chef because I don't have arthritis in my hands anymore. So yeah. I can serve in this way. That's a good example of serving from self-fullness, it's really,
that was so much fun. That whole thing was just so much fun. And I loved meeting your mom. She was just delightful.
Yeah. And another thing is you may really have a burning desire to host a clinic. And so that's another way to be of service. And she hosted it in her home. I like it when it's in people's homes because it gives that feeling of comfiness. And then it's easier to make the food. So people, they can't eat for 2 hours before having their pulse taken. But then afterwards, they can eat fresh mung soup sometimes for the first time. And when it hits them, they're like, oh, I could eat this, And just in that space, like having the love and then all the miracles and blessings that come from that. So thank you, Katie, for that.
Oh, anytime. I would love to host a clinic here again, anytime.
Yeah, and so many miracles happen in that space. It just fills the whole area, the whole room. So Now let me go back to the document, and then I'll go through it one more time, but don't worry, editing, writing, and then volunteering or / hosting Pulse Clinic. So I'm going to go through this list one more time. And in the chat, you could put 1 or 2 ideas that stick out to you. Story Angel, the Welcome or Social Media Angels, translating projects, so many things, writing angels. We have so many books, like even we're creating a Marma home remedy reference book, and then we're creating a book about contagious healing. We're creating a book on Hmong soup. We're creating a book on the Miracle Experiment Journal. We're creating all kinds of stuff. The animal book, the cookbook, PR angels, if you have any connections with TV stations or social media influencers, or you're willing to write articles, man, that would help out so much. I actually have media sources. They will publish anything that I send them almost. I just need to give people a story and say, can you draft this? And then I can send it on to people. So if you have that interest or that skill, it would be such a gift, such a blessing. Fundraising angels, you just want to do something that's outside your comfort zone or you're comfortable with it, but contacting, you can either with the music project, art project, but really I would like if people contract corporate sponsors or other foundations. There's lots of foundations, they just give money to other foundations, and we have a really clearly defined cause and compelling, we can be involved in that way. Medical research team and all these specific tasks. So on Sunday calls or on different social media, posting comments, helping people feel welcome, acknowledging them, appreciating them, in the Facebook group for the community or in other places, helping get books to prisons, schools, libraries, helping with any of the regional calls, helping with the Unstoppable Sedona event celebration, any of the regional book clubs, art project, music project, just someone who says, okay, I want my job be, I'm listening to every Sunday call, and quickly after I let Kyle know, here's the best story and here's where you find it. Helping translate, kids book, bonus videos, TEDx talk, 100-day experience. Man, this would be so powerful. If by the end of the 100 days, we already have it translated in multiple languages, it'd be so cool. Transcribing Story Angels for not only the Denny Love book, but other projects. It may not sound like the most exciting, but it's powerful because as you're transcribing it, it goes deeper inside of you. Contacting corporate sponsors, we talked about that. Contacting media influencers, we talked about that. Helping write medical research. Cookbook, recipe sharing site, co-hosting calls, being a musical guest, or helping find musical guests that are related to the message of love, miracles, healing, Animal, the pet book, the orphan project, helping with the homeless, animals. Community includes things like, we've done in the past, helping firefighters, first responders, community servants, basically like that. Also, environment preservation, so helping with trees and different things, protecting the herbs. If you're good at editing, writing, graphic design, you're willing to learn, how do I run a tech room? I mean, a Zoom room or something like that. If you're willing to help write the newsletters each week, volunteering, hosting a Pulse Clinic. We did it with 1 minute to spare. Yes, I can't believe it. Jana, we did it. Anything, Jana, you want to share in kind of closing comments or remarks for this beautiful group?
I just am so excited for their journey. It's just going to be a really good journey. Yeah. So excited.
I forgot to put on here, not only the kids book, but helping get the kids book into schools. Yeah, I'm going to put this here, or helping with youth, I'm going to put kids book into schools, or special projects for youth projects is so much in my heart. Actually, honestly, if I wasn't helping adults in this moment, I would just help kids all day long. That's actually where my passion is. And I'm good at it. Oh, John is here. Oh my goodness. We need to give a special love. Let's do this. This is a good way to end the call. Let's give John so much love. Put our hands together. Actually, everyone can unmute yourself. Let's put our hands together and close this call properly. We love you and we're with you. I love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
We are with you.
With you.
Love you.
To everyone.
I'm with you.
Love you with you.
Love you, Jen.
Love and respect.
So beautiful. Thank you for joining the call today. We'll be reviewing what's in the chat. If you haven't put your email address, I'll stay on for 1 minute longer where you can put your email address. If you're watching the recording, send an email to team@myancientsecrets.com, team@myancientsecrets.com with any of the projects you're interested in. For everyone who gave the email, we'll send you a form soon, and then there'll be more information about what to do from there. Very open to any inspiration that you have that we haven't thought of yet. Those are always welcome as well. Love you, with you, namaskar.